Greetings, good morning. I'm here at the Congaree Park, National Park. I'm taking a walk with the dog. And something been bothering me because lately on YouTube, for some reason, these commercials pop up that are basically anti-LGBTQ. Now, I discussed one last time. It was this company producing children's books that are supposed to, teach masculinity. I went into, basically that this is a mental disorder on the part of the people doing this stuff. Well, the one yesterday is it's a documentary, so-called, by a company known as the Epoch Times, who I think they have a printed newspaper, YouTube channel, stuff like that. They're actually out of China, which is a little peculiar. Nothing against Chinese, but it's like, what the f***? Why are you pretending to be Western when you're... Anyway, it's kind of shady, mysterious. But anyway, this so-called documentary is trying to describe how, misguided and everything this LGBTQ stuff is, and then they take examples from the media, where the media is showing this as being acceptable and okay, stuff like that. What they show in this so-called documentary is a sort of dramatized scene where a child's mother is making the child question their gender identity. Maybe you're a boy, and then the kid starts to panic and, worry and just like question things and stuff like that. Then at some later point in the storyline, the kid is diagnosed as being abused, So there again, as I mentioned last time discussing this issue, this is completely wrong, because what they're doing is they're trying to make out as if whatever the gender issue is, gay, bisexual, transgender, whatever, is caused by an outside influence. This thing that they like to call grooming. And basically there's no such thing as grooming. It's what they're using. It's an idea that they're using to assign blame to someone and to not address what's at the core of this. Anyway, assigning blame to an outside influence is completely wrong, because in these cases with LGBTQ people, it's not coming from outside, it's coming from within. Because for whatever reason, they don't feel comfortable in the gender that biology, the universe, has assigned to them. According to these people, it's like, well, they completely miss the origin of it. At any rate, young people today, whether they're LGBTQ or not, they've inherited a world created by these assholes that is not functioning. They're trying to survive in it, exist the best way that they can, which is difficult enough. And then you've got the older generation of basically dysfunctional loser assholes who are trying to kick you while you're down, already struggling with these issues. It is the most cowardly, craven, backward attitude I've seen in recent times. It dwarfs everything. And as I mentioned last time, gender identity issues, they're not even issues. It's a subject, and it goes back throughout all history, all kinds of cultures, And interestingly enough, the only cultures that try to vilify it, create an enemy, and try to claim that this is a force which is undermining and destroying our wonderful culture. The only people that did it were the Nazis, probably some others somewhere, but it's actually fairly rare. So you've got young people, like I said, who have inherited this mess. They got issues they're going through, and now they have to deal with this extra layer of crap from these completely ignorant cowards. I'm just surprised that these commercials are allowed on YouTube. They got so many things that aren't, yet this is permitted. You know, there's also some sort of patriotic stuff out there too, where it's like, oh, you know, 200 years of our history, blah, 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 and all this stuff and everything. People need to get their priorities right, because just like with gender, the body comes second, the person is first, the consciousness is first. You know, with a country with borders where everything ends at the border, it's just an idea. People come first. Countries and borders don't. And if people have to cling on to ideas like this, like, oh, this is who I am, blah, 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 you know, it's a mental disease. It's a mental disorder. I realize this because I have a different perspective on things, because when I was a kid, I moved all the time. I was moving back and forth between England and America. No matter where I went, I was treated like an outsider. So I'd pick up the accent and lose it. I would be over here, I was the limey, teapot, you know, and I'd go over there, I was the yank. Oh, we didn't need you during World War II. We didn't need your help. So what the hell are you talking about? I was just a little kid. Anyway, I encourage all of you out there, if you have problems with other people's gender, shut the fuck up. Otherwise, these bastards need to be pointed out, because what they're doing is so off the scale in terms of craven cowardice and cruelty. It boggles the mind. And I have to say something about it, simply because of how wrong it is. Okay, it's just like Nazi Germany. You know, you got an uprising of a growing movement of brown shirts or something like that, doing things, acts of violence, and that's what's coming next. You've already got things like shootings, stuff like that. We got a thing in South Carolina where legislators are trying to criminalize drag shows, right? So if you dress up as the wrong gender, you can go to prison. You gotta be kidding me. So anyway, things are so messed up. Speaking of going to prison, that's another interesting thing, because you got corporate America, you know, petroleum industries, fossil fuels. It's like they can do any damn thing, you know, pollute, get away with it, never have to pay anything. Well, sometimes they do, but not much. But then you drive down the road and you see a sign that says littering, $1,000 fine and or, you know, prison. It's like, so if you throw a paper cup out the window, you're going to go to prison. But these guys that are basically destroying nature itself get away with it. Unbelievable. So I'll leave it there. I leave it up to you to do the right thing, okay? Let's shut these bastards up, okay? Thanks.